So you can also convert your existing static site that you built, maybe using HTML or maybe some static site generator, I believe. Although I never really tried it, but let us say you have a static site in plain HTML and maybe a bit of JavaScript. You can actually convert it, uh, or you can basically use Express to um create a site using those files, your existing HTML files. Now I have this site which is ravisagar.com, which I made recently using nothing but HTML and CSS and a bit of JavaScript. So JavaScript is basically used here to pull my latest content from my other blog, my main blog, ravisagar.in. Now, this site is something that I have here on my site. My files are all inside this folder called ravisagar dot something ravisagar.com.gitlab.io. So this is basically the name of my folder, and I have one. If you look at the directory here, there are three files, I believe, like index.html, style.css, and fetch.rss.js, and of course one more, drop-down menu.js. So these are some files that, of course, couple of JavaScript files, CSS, and index.html. Now, if I look at my site, or rather, I should go to Express website. If you go to the expressjs.com, you can then go to this link called static files, and you have some instructions here to basically convert your existing site, which is nothing but static with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And you can use this line of code to read one directory. Let us say you have a directory called public, and it will basically um, look for that particular directory, and it will serve the files in that directory. So let us do that. And you have, of course, other options. You can have multiple directories, I believe, but I think to begin with, what I want to do, I want to basically keep my existing files as it is, and I want to use Express, of course, along with Node.js. So let us start doing that. So what I'll do, I'll simply, and of course, for sake of this example, I will probably delete. So there is a directory called public, which I don't really need, to be honest. I already have these files in my root directory, and what I will do in my code, I will add this line which I copied the Express website. So you can simply copy this line, and if you go and paste it here, what I have done here is I have commented out the paths. If you watch my previous video, I talked about different paths that you can set, like slash, which is of course root, slash contact, and slash about. And of course, later on we'll figure out what to do more with these different paths. But for this particular video, I want to simply see how it looks like if I simply add this line. And I will of course use dot here, because dot means so I'm running this nodemon or node from the root, and I'm using this src/app.js. So basically, I can say dot, which is the current directory, and it will look for the static files, mainly index.html or JavaScript or maybe CSS, and it will start serving them. So if I run this, and it is now saying localhost 3000. So let us see if it if it works or not. So I'll open localhost and 3000, which is my port number, and we have a website which is now served by Express, and of course we are using Node.js. So this is exactly like my site, which is live. Of course, there is a size different. I think I can just change the size. I think now it is fine. Maybe a bit more. Let us see. One more point. Yeah, so now they are exactly same. And you can see here that the JavaScript also worked because it is now pulling the content from my other side. The drop down menus are also working because there is a bit of CSS here. So all looks good, and I'm quite satisfied with what Express can do within by just adding one line of code. So it works quite good. It is also responsive. So this is all great. What I want to do is I want to now deploy it to Heroku. So if I go and take a look at my Heroku site, I'm still not sure how to pronounce it. I'm thinking that it is Heroku app. So if I go to Heroku, I'll open the site first that I published yesterday, which is nothing but hello world. Nothing great happening here. It is my ravisagastaging.herokuapp.com, and I'll open my app, which is staging one. I still haven't figured out how to configure the custom domain, but I think you can do that using Heroku. But you need to. I think in the free plan they don't really give you certificates, so that is a bit disappointing. But anyways, let us see what all we can do. So what I'll do, I'll deploy my site, which I just I'll first commit the changes. So I'll do git status, and I'll do git add dot, which is adding the files, and then I'll commit deploying existing HTML site, and I will then push the changes. So I think for pushing the changes, I need to use this git push Heroku master, and it will start building it will generate a build, and it will then deploy it. And I can also take a look online. I believe it will also show you the progress. So you can always use this link here. So let us see. So it is saying launching, and now it is deployed. So let us go back to the URL, and now we have a site which is now by adding just one line of code, we now have a static site which is now looking good. I'm quite happy with that. Of course, this is something that I'm doing to keep myself motivated. I'm also sharing what all we can do with Node.js and Express. And as I mentioned yesterday, I really want to learn Node.js, and I want to learn it properly. And that is why I'm creating these videos, so that I can share my progress. So this is what, although I didn't do much today apart from just adding one line of code. Today is actually my birthday, and I'm taking a break, but I thought I can maybe make a small video. And this is what all we can do these days. We can't really go out much, and I thought I'll probably share this small thing. Of course, in case you are already using Express, I'm sure you know how to do it. But if you are learning Express, if you're wondering what all you can do with Node.js and Express, you can definitely deploy a static site by adding your existing static site. And I think, of course, I'll do more things here. This is, of course, just one step. I will now maybe add dynamic features to this particular site. Not really everywhere. I'll keep the homepage simple, but maybe I'll add few more links here and there to basically play with Node.js. And my intention is to basically use this as the front end of my Drupal site, where I will keep my content, but I will pull content, and I will basically treat my ravisagar.in site as headless Drupal. So I will basically use services module in Drupal to expose some REST endpoints, and I will use Node.js to consume those REST endpoints and display something here. And of course, we will figure out later on what else we can do with the Node.js. So I hope you enjoyed watching today's video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.